All right. Well, I don't want to wait too long because I got to get started. Um,
Nee, ik heb 2 minuten.
uh, so those who came deserve to get some learning here. So I'm going to get us started with those of us who are here. Um, we'll begin with a prayer, and then we're going to sing a song.
George
Right?
wants to sing.
George, yeah. George, have you picked a song out? If you haven't, I've picked one
No,
out.
I didn't know it.
I-
I will sing.
I picked one for you. This is one that your father taught me.
Yeah.
Hello, Imatao. Thank you, Father, for this precious language and for these who have taken time out of their busy day to learn some of it and to help us practice reading and writing in Naskapi. I pray for those who have signed up for this class and are unable to be here, and I pray that they are able to overcome their technical problems with making connections on their computers so that they can once again be with us and join us, and so that we can do this together, and so that they can all do syllabics on their computer too, like it should be the law. We urge Jesus Christ and the Hashem. Amen. Okay.
Amen.
Amen. And did anybody else choose a hymn? If you haven't, I have. Here's the one that I would like to do. You know this one? Is anybody saying yes?
Wait.
Wait. I'll sing it, but I'll mute you guys before we.
Oh, that's the hymn before the or after.
What?
Nanuji.
Hey.
Sa.
Huh?
Ina machuheit nanuji angu wa hymn.
And we've just admitted one more person. Loretta's here. Hello, Loretta. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. I used the other link, so sorry.
Oh, that's all right. Yeah, I try to put out the same link every week.
Okay.
So, yeah, we're about to start with the song. Can you see the song?
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
And here's how it goes. Nimoskawakatan Bimachi Washo Oashamnidachak Chishik Pagwashigan Ninotaya Pakwan Opachini Mi pimati siwa poi chakani pian moswichini tachak. I'm sorry. Kiyawasita Jadinaspitas Iyawatsmananas Asipis Aimit Jagat Namachitiu. Oh Jesus, makan Papa wicawakan Moscaci shapishiu Jahakano tashik amoya otitis. Sorry about that. I had to find it on the screen so that I could scroll it up. I lost my spot. This is the third week of our Naskapi language class. I know that we have had something on Facebook that said that there's a Naskapi beginners class. It's going to be taught by Agnes McKenzie at Kawachikamach at the NCC. I don't know if that's started yet. Can anybody share whether that has? Has anybody heard from Tricia?
Sorry,
Oh, that's all right, Sharon.
my phone do sono.
Oh, yeah, Magwatch, yeah. It's hard to do more than one thing, two things at once. Sometimes running this class, I have to do more than one thing at the same time. But it's really hard to keep, to do a class and to also be working at the same time. I would like to ask all of the organizations at Kawawa to let you have time off, like the band office has, off of your regular job so that you can take this class. Let your boss pay you to be there. I think that's the way it ought to be. I was just asking whether or not you know whether Agnes McKenzie's class has started yet, the one organized by Tricia at the band office.
Mas acho que tá.
Acho que cool.
What next week and Majid Binano Bados.
Oh, ma'am. Yeah, I want this class to be complementary with that one. That is, if you're in one of them, you should be able to take both of them. Learn some things from me about Naskapi language and grammar and reading, and learn some things from Agnes, which she can teach you from all of her long experience of being a Naskapi language teacher at the school. I think both are important. When we taught this class as a team in the at the Naskapi McGill course, I did the mornings, and Agnes came in the afternoon, and she monitored the course when the students were doing their homework and was there to answer questions. So it's good that she's there to be in person for the class. I can't be there in person, so I can teach this way. Today, I'd like to get right into some of the learning. I've had you do some printing out of pages. I had you do the syllabic chart. If you have one of those around available or stick or on the wall, that would be great. I've also had you print out a blank syllabic chart. And I'm going to run through the cards again because this is important. The way the cards work, it's important to teach with cards like this, because if you're teaching somebody syllabics for the first time, it's important to be able to turn the card around so they understand that this is the same letter as this one and this one. It just changes the vowel. It goes from E to O to A that way. And the other thing to point out is that there's only 10 of these cards. That's very important for people learning it, because often when people see the syllabic chart, they think, oh, look at that, there's 50 letters and some of them I don't even know. But when you start with 10 cards, it makes it doable, and people understand that this is something that they could even learn if they only have to learn 10 of them. So I'm going to go through the cards first. So there's the first cards. They're the vowels. E, kia, U, kia, A. And then we and wa. We and wa. It's just like E and A, except it has dots. The W is the dot. This one works the same way as the first one. B, bu, not ba. B, ba, bu. D, do, da.
D, do, da.
Right.
D,
Ki,
D.
ki, ka. Cool.
I have a
Follow.
question.
Yes.
Wait,
Go
Wait,
ahead.
this-
Go ahead.
the
Go ahead.
O and the A, they don't always go in the same direction, right? Because the first one, oo goes on my right, and then when you say ku, it goes on the other side. Do they always go in the same direction? Like this is ku,
This is cool.
and so it goes on my left. The circle goes on my
Yeah,
left.
this circle goes on your left. But
Yeah.
on all of these ones with the stick, it's the stick that tells you where the vowel is.
Ah, okay.
So look for the stick, and the stick here is on the U side.
Okay.
Stick here is on the A side. Follow the stick.
Okay.
Okay, for all of these ones that have a vertical stick,
Okay.
think of the stick as to here the stick is holding it up. So
Yeah.
it's up, right? And so now the stick is over on that side.
B, bu.
Okay.
And now the stick is on this side. So follow the stick. The stick points the same way as the these guys.
Okay.
So here it's pointing to that side.
U.
So that's U. So the stick is on the same side. It's pointing to the same side as U. So there. That side is always U.
Okay.
But on this whole set of these characters, the ones with the vertical stick, follow where the stick is. The stick's on the U side.
Okay.
So where's the stick? The stick is holding it up. Then the stick is on the A side. Now the stick is on the U side.
Okay.
The stick is holding it up. It's me. So E for up. The stick is on the A side.
Mm-hmm.
The stick is on the U side. Over here. I'm going to put this one aside for a minute. The stick is holding it up. So it's C or she. The stick is on the A side. Over here. Now the stick is on the U side. Over here. Yi. Ya. You. Where's the stick? The stick is on the U side. This is the only one that's different. This one doesn't have a vertical stick. It has a horizontal stick. So we forget about the stick now, and we just look at the circle. The circle is holding it up. It's ni. Where did the circle go? The circle is over on the A side. So that's na. Where does the circle go? The circle is on the U side. So that's nu. So there's three different kinds. There's the one with a horizontal stick. That's ni na nu. There's one with the vertical stick. The stick is on the vowel side. And then there's these that point. This one points up, E. It points that way, U. It points this way, A. Benjamin, he's late. Must have been sleeping.
Okay.
Message him.
Hello, Ben. Whatcha? Welcome. We just went through the cards. We've had our song. We've had our prayer. And we're going to do an exercise with the chart right now. The syllabic chart. I'm going to share my screen. And we'll share the chart first. And I'll get the right chart on my screen here. Okay, can everybody see the chart on the screen?
Yeah.
We're going to talk about the positions of these on the chart. We've just gone through all of the shapes and the directions they are pointing. But now I want to talk about the positions that you see these on the chart. I did not decide where these are on the chart. It wasn't my job. What I have done, though, is to look at the charts that exist, the charts from when they were invented, all the charts that were printed in all the prayer books from the earliest days. And they are always in this order. The vowels are along the top, and the consonants that go down the side, like this column here. This is the E column. E, we, be, we, he, she, me, ni, si, and ye. That's always the first column on a Naskapi chart. There are Cree charts that have another column just over to the other side, way over here. But we don't use those. Those are the 4-column charts, 4 different directions. Naskapi doesn't need them because Naskapi doesn't use those sounds. This column is the U column. The second column over is always U. So it's U, and then Pu, Tu, Ku, Chu, Mu, Nu, Su, and Yo. So the first column is E, second column is U. They're always in this order. P comes before T, and after T comes Ki. After T comes Chi. That's the order they're always in.
Medical.
The third column is A, and that's what we just did with the cards. We changed the direction 3 times. We are either pointing up, or we're pointing to the left for U, we're pointing to the right for A. 3 columns, 3 parts. So this is really the main syllabic chart for Naskapi are these 3. Just those. And everything else builds on that. These other ones here are called finals, or the small letters. And those are just the consonant by itself. And you notice that they match the A series. They're the same shape as the A. So that's why they're right next to that one. That's why we don't go E, A, U, because the U column is the opposite direction. Ba and small p look alike. Da and small t look alike. Ka and small k look alike. So that's why they're side by side. So that's why the 4th column is always the small ones, because the small ones look just like the A series. Does that make sense?
No.
I didn't invent this, so I'm not allowed to change it, but I am allowed to teach it. I have seen syllabic charts done by others that have them in different orders, but this is the order that we've been given, and so this is the order that I teach. Finally, the W dots These are the ones that have W dots. And they look like the ones that don't have the W dots. It's the same shape. So yua with the dots looks like ya without the dots. Swa with the dots looks like sa without the dots. This character here, let me clear first. That little cool, the small cool that only happens on a few words, like the end of the word for caribou, atih. And it's really just sort of a breathy KW on the end. It's like you rounded your lips when you said K, atih. Now, if you look at the syllabic chart, the chart also has. Let me stop annotating. The chart also has this thing that's called other symbols, like the symbol S, small s, plus poi, toi, qua, and jua.
Moi.
Not moi. It only combines with those first four, George. They can also be written as contractions. They can be written together with the S character between the two dots. Ben asked me last week about H. H only occurs between vowels and only rarely. We talked a little bit about names, and that's another story. Right now, names are kind of non-standard. They are the way your grandmother decided to spell your name. So don't make up your own spelling of your name in syllabics. Always ask your grandmother or an elder how to spell your name. I want to talk.
Madeleine.
Madeline.
No, because I told Sharon the other day we were talking about this course, and I told her that in school I learned to write union as an U,
Yes.
yam with a small M at the end.
Union.
But I said my grandfather used to write it as U, yama.
Yeah, uniema. Yeah, uniema. Yeah, and so it's better to be traditional and ask your grandparents how to do it. It's also respectful to them to ask them the way they would like to spell, because this is a traditional spelling. This is the way we have done it. We're not supposed to make up our own spellings. We're supposed to use what has been handed down to us.
So I should write my last name like my grandfather used to write it.
That's my recommendation. My recommendation is to honor your grandfather by writing it the way he did.
I was taught to write Loretta with NU, and now I see that there's such thing as LU.
There are such things. Now you notice that at the very bottom, those sounds do not occur in Naskapi, so our elders rarely use them. But when we read the Bible, we find that names like Mary are written with the R sound. And so that's why they're on the chart. They're on the chart so that we learn them for people who write their names this way.
That's the name.
But the sounds don't occur in the original Naskapi language.
Lee.
Naskapi people a generation ago could not pronounce Li or Ri.
That's how I was taught, that there was no such thing as LURU, that you had to find the sound similar within the upper chart.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's correct for a generation ago. For your elders who didn't speak English, they couldn't actually make those sounds. They didn't know them. But now, because you speak English as well, you can say L's and R's just like anybody else. So that's why they're there. All right. Okay, now I'm going to switch sharing to the other chart. There. All right, so now you're looking at the blank chart, and now I've asked some of you to go ahead and print out a paper version of this. So if you have the paper one, bring the paper one out and put it right in front of you. If you can see a real syllabic chart, like Ben, your mouse pad, or at the front of most books, it has the real syllabic chart, the official syllabic chart. If you can see one, I want you to cover it up. Cover it up. Don't anybody cheat by looking at one of these. I'd like you to hide it right now. So hide your syllabic chart so that all you see is your blank syllabic chart. If you have a paper one in front of you, fill it in with a pencil or a pen. Fill it in with all the right syllabics. If you don't have a paper one in front of you, you can click on the button that says View Options at the very top of your Zoom screen, and then choose Annotate, and you may fill in the chart that's right on the screen, like this. So help yourself. Go ahead and do it on paper if you have the paper. Do it on your screen if you know how to do it on your screen. It's right under the button that says View Options, and then you can choose Annotate. Annotate, and then you choose the Draw button, and the Draw button will allow you to draw something. So is everybody at work now? You're working on your charts?
Nihi.
No, ma'am. I'll ask you to show them.
Bill, did you put these in like a Dropbox link or something?
Yes, yeah, there's the email that I sent out to everybody. There's a link at the bottom that has the Naskapi resources. They're in the Dropbox.
Oh, okay, yes.
Yeah,
Naskapi ebooks.
Yeah, it's in
Okay,
it's inside that ebooks folder. There's another folder that says resources.
I see audio ebooks and Naskapi handouts and resources.
That's it, Naskapi handouts and resources.
Okay, Naskapi. Okay, now I got it. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Everybody who's working on paper, go ahead and fill your entire chart out before you look at the real chart. Don't have one of these real charts out while you're doing it. Fill your whole chart out by hand.
After tea.
Okay.
Why don't ma?
Dei da gusto ni Annie siya moji. Annie na Pepsi.
I understand.
Bill, I don't know if it's because I'm on a PC and you're on a Mac, but I can't interact on the PDF file for some reason, and I don't have a printer at home, so
Oh, okay. So yeah, you've tried clicking on view options.
yeah,
Okay.
it opens as a PDF.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Right?
Okay. If you're on the Zoom,
That one R.
you have to be click on view options on Zoom. So if you, it's only on the one that I'm sharing with you. If it opens as a PDF,
Met si dito na export da ita Word.
yeah. If you want to interact on the in the Zoom meeting, you have to be looking at the shared screen. And if you're looking at the shared screen, then choose view options at the top and then choose annotate.
Well, I'm on my phone, so it doesn't allow me to do
yeah.
that.
So you probably
Okay,
can't.
pen and highlighter. Wait,
Huh.
do you guys see that?
I just saw you made a circle on 3.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, you made
Okay,
you
that
made a mark.
works.
Yeah,
Cool.
that works. But if you're on your phone, it's really hard because it's tiny.
I don't know how to erase it now. Okay, Josh. Okay.
Yeah, you did. You're figuring this out.
Huh?
Down. Okay.
Oh, interactive. Hey, pen is size. Definitely.
I'll give you another minute or so to finish up on your paper and those who are interacting on the screen, and then we're going to talk about it.
Correct the dusty.
Na.
Understand. Huh? I thought she made me that. Naskapi.
WJ1.
I want to talk about what we've been writing on the screen now, and where things are supposed to show up on the chart.
I'm stuck, me. I can't remember the order.
Yeah. That so there are some hints to the chart that help you to figure that out, and we'll talk about those. The top line is easy. It's always the vowels e a u, or it's e u a. The second column is always u. The first column is always e. So that it's not bad to get those first ones, and then the ones right underneath that look just like it. It's the ones with dots, W, we, and wa, and the final. If you look at the chart, you can see over. Let me get my annotation ready here. Gonna do gray. You see this space over here? See how that sticks out? That's the small ku. If that sticks out and that's the small ku, that means this entire line has to be ki ka ku, ki ku ka, not n like it is there. So this entire line has to be the k's. So it goes P T K, P T K, mi si, mi ni. M and N come together. Think of M and M's. M and N follow each other, and then the C and the Y. Go ahead and take out your chart and look at what it's supposed to be.
Madam sticky.
And I'll put the chart the way it's supposed to be.
Tumog na siya.
Manani is made alphabet, but man does it mean like the way I knew the way like B is letter B
Right.
to me.
Yeah, to you it begins with it's a B.
It's a D.
It's a D. D.
Niwi 80 teman. Miami sodo it's Danny Dadeen Dadeen.
Yeah.
Akin na sa sit teman eh. Kuna dias like a ka, it's a K. G is J.
Right.
M,
And then M, S, and Y. Yeah, they're all in order. You're right.
Tangun dan Jim Jatan, which is always this month today. Don't you just sit the man data. More that going to be an antimuta like after the D. And then the say that with T and then the must stay, but in between minutes just sit down.
Right. Well, it's like anything else, the more you have to deal with it, the more you will learn it. So that's why I have these blank charts for you to try out. You can print out another blank one and practice, fill it out by hand, and then see which ones you got wrong, see which ones you got backwards, and then work on those. Fill out the whole chart, print out another blank one, fill out the whole chart, look at the ones, compare it with the right one, and look at the ones. I want to give you a couple of hints on how L and R work. Most people, when they come to L and R, it's like, I don't know those. Those aren't even Naskapi. But they're really easy if you compare the L's with N. Notice that the shape of the L's, I didn't mean to do that. That the shape of the L's and the shape of the N's are similar. Look at this character N and this character for L. This is Ni, this is Li. They look alike.
That's what Naskapi uses too. When there's an L, they use N.
They use N. So they're in the same position. So if you're not really sure what letter that is, then compare it with the N and say, oh, that's it's La looks like Na.
Okay.
Okay? And the other one, the Re, if you look at just this part of the R's, it matches this part of the T's. See that? So look at this part of the T. If you know T tuta, then Re Ru Ra has the same part. This Re has a little bump on it pointing up. It's just like T. This Ru has a little bump on it pointing to the right. It's Tu. This one has a bump on it pointing to the left. That's Ta. So Re Ru Ra look like T tuta with a stick on it. anyway, just to help you to find what what R is if you see it in reading, and that's what we're going to do next anyway. We're going to read something together, and then we'll be able to wrap this up.
Are there any hidden words to help remember the word? Like I'm looking at like the column. If you read it down, you get the papataka.
Yeah, well,
Like there's hidden words in there that you can use to remember the.
that's one way to do it. I've just I learned them by reading, and that's what I'll recommend. So learn it by practicing reading. I'm going to share a different picture on your screen, and we'll get to do some reading. This picture here, this shows you what it is that we will be reading. These books are available at NDC. These books are also available on the ebook, the shared ebook folder. And this is what we'll be reading first. These are the first Bible translations that the Naskapis ever had. The first books ever published in Naskapi is this set of books. Back in 1994, before there was anything ever written in Naskapi, these are the first things that Joe Guanish and I worked on together, and we had these books done. And so they are children's books, so they're easy to read, fairly easy. They have pictures, but they're also the real Bible. So the same words that are in them are also found in the Bible, written in the same way. These are just a little bit easier to read because it has pictures. Let me share the first one with you, and we'll read it together. Let me go to the beginning. We won't read the introduction. This is the introduction. Jagwan Daganoj. But we will read the beginning. Mary ka nogasistagut angina. Notice that we spell angel with the N's. This was an elder's decision. We could have spelled angel with an L, and sometimes you see it spelled that way, but we spelled angels with the N because this is what the elders have asked us to do. So Mary ka nogasistagut angina. In Mary's case, we did the R. So this is ma, and this is re. And the reason we know this is a re is because it looks like the T letter. It's a bump pointing up. So Mary ka nogasistagut angina. Now let's get to the first part of the text. And we'll read a sentence at a time, and we'll go around the room. I will not appoint people, but I would ask for volunteers. I'll begin by reading the first sentence.
Can you tell me what the title means before you start?
Absolutely. Yes. I thought I was talking to people who knew Naskapi words. This is Kanokasistagut, means that this person was made visible to someone.
Okay.
So nokun means it is visible in Naskapi. Ka nokusistagut is that this one was made visible. So Mary had someone made visible to them. It was an angel.
Okay, thank you.
That's the first sentence mean. So basically, Mary saw an angel, but it isn't the word for see. It's the word for somebody being made visible. Nokun. Nokustago. Okay, so that's what this story is about. It's the Christmas story. Everybody knows what the Christmas story is. There was a person named Mary. An angel came and talked to her. So I will begin, and then I'll pass this on to somebody else after the first sentence. Ishpimak, ashutat statu bijamwa, ka ispis kilwa.
Can you highlight
Excuse me.
Yes. Yeah, I will. I'll do that.
Judge, you can highlight in the same time.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. First line. Ishbimak, ashotat statu bijamwa, ka ishbis kinawai maushot, Elizabeth, chamando chi itasauhau and ya engina. Gabriel, ka ishashwichi, anta Galilee astich, anta Nazareth, ka ishanikataich, otanayo. Those of you who understand Naskapi have that all figured out. But if you're just beginning to understand Naskapi, maybe you haven't figured all it out what I've said. But Gabriel is the angel's name. Okay, Gabriel ka ishnekasuichi. Gabriel is the angel's name. In Galilee, that's the place where Mary lived. Galilee, Astich. Nazareth ka ishnekataich otanayo. Nazareth is the name of the town. Okay, that's the first sentence. Somebody else, please, try reading the second sentence. And you can read it slow if you're just figuring this out. So, second sentence, up to the little X. The little X is the end of a sentence.
Okay. Okay, I'll read.
Go ahead.
In engine, chi tisawagno, chi intuamat, usinichikwa mani, aishnikaisu chi, mani mak, Chupani niya tusap, kisnikatang chi na pa, chi wichimat. Omak tusap chinis umusumo niya chisaw tsuma tipet kaisnikasuichi.
Okay, that's enough, George. Let's be sure that everybody's following along here. This was a difficult word, even for George to read.
Wow.
This is a young girl. The first part is the beginning of the word that means she's new. So usnichiskwawa, a young girl, usnichiskwawa. And I noticed as George was reading, he said Manny here. And that's all right. You can pronounce Mary's name as Manny. You can say Mary, and you can also say Manny. Manny is the Naskapi way to say Mary. So you can pick either one. So that the angel was sent to see the young woman, Mary. Mary was her name.
6 months.
Mary Chipanibu. She's going to get married, right? Chipanibu. And they had Joseph. She's going to get married to a man named Joseph. And he was a man who was related to King David. So this part here, Chao Chimao David, this was Joseph's ancient ancestor.
So the word Anscha is ancestor.
Right. Anischa Omushumo. So Anischa means for the late or the former grandfather or a distant grandfather. He's a distant relative. All right. Let's move on to the next paragraph. Somebody else volunteered to read starting at G.
Gimitan.
Yeah.
One day, yeah, Amakchia.
Could you be done first sentence?
Oh, ma'am.
Chi ni tua pemiku
Ma'am.
mak Maui anya Maui anya aku kwa itukwat mak itukwat
Ma'am. Quite good.
kwa itukwat kwa chi you chi chia
Yeah.
chia ma you ta chia so ano waste ham ko tsunoi chia chia moita mu
Ma.
chia ma you
E.
ito go Cheyenne practice na nuit na tunda za no na beacon that na satan on the beacon at those two.
Yeah. Good work. Good try.
Jindobmaku mag Mary anya Anjuna aku goitukwit. Chamoita was to
Okay.
Chashu joke. Chamandu misty Chwaymak.
Ma'am. Chamando Mr. Shwemak. Okay, like we use the word shwame for a kiss, but we also use the word shwame in the Bible as a
Schwen.
blessing. Blessing. So God has really blessed you. God has really given you a blessing. Chamando Mr. Shwemak. God has given you a great blessing. And Chiamaita just means calm down.
Boy, that's the one.
Chiamaita Moon. Peace, right? He's saying peace. Calm down. Chiamaita.
Sure.
Was Otabaiti Chow. Chi We Chow. The Lord is with you, right? Otabaiti Chow. Chi We Chow. God has greatly blessed you. That's what it's saying there. Okay, somebody else read from the bottom of the page where it says Mary. And it's okay to read really slow, one letter at a time. Go
I'm
ahead.
gonna try.
Go ahead.
Me?
Yep.
Mary Shajishu. Mary Shajishu.
Yep.
Kia chimishkatai timiko.
Yep.
Uya tan kai takenut. Kia chi ma mitonai timiko. Anya tan kaishi witamakot. Ania Yua Anjina.
Okay, good. Let's talk about this sentence. So Mary was afraid, right? Makchi satsu.
Mhm.
Satsu. She was afraid. Kia chi miskate tamigo. If you get to a word and it's really long and you're not sure what it says, try to sound it out. Miskate tamigo. Chi miskate tamigo. So something was amazing. She was amazed. She was amazed by what she saw. Oya. Oya, it means this, right? This thing. Tan ka itaita kun kia chi mamitanait. She thought about it. Mamitanaitam, right? Chi mamitanait. And yatan kaish Uitamagot, what she was told by this angel. All right, you followed along? Any questions there? One of the things that we like to do is to not just jump right on to the next thing, but we'll look at this until we got this page pretty good. And so I'm going to go back to the beginning and ask you to help me as you look at these words. And together we'll figure out what, in Naskapi, there are three kinds of words. most of the words in Naskapi are verbs, somebody doing something. And it's important to be able to identify the verbs in a sentence because those are the things that have the most meaning attached to them. The past tense, the future tense, who's doing it to what, why are they doing it? All of those things are part of the verb. And so if we can identify where the verbs are, then we can start to figure out where that grammar is fitting together. Grammar is just a pattern, and we're going to be after the patterns that we see in the Naskapi language. And once you know these patterns, your reading will come up that much faster as you figure this out. But that's a few more sessions down the line. But we'll begin with this page and figure out what the patterns are. So let's begin with nouns. Nouns are names of people, places, and things. And so if you can just unmute yourself and shout out, tell me if you see any nouns in the first line. Second line.
Ishuma. Months.
Months. A month is a thing. You're right. So it's 6 months. Any things or people, places, or things in the second line? A name is a noun. This is Elizabeth. How about God? God is a noun. That's his name. Chamando.
Anjana.
Okay, good. Angel is a noun.
Gabriel.
Yeah, that's his name. Good, good. Any other nouns in that line?
Galilee.
Galilee and Nazareth. Aschich is a noun. Nazareth is a noun.
Dana.
Otanayo is a noun. That means town. So we have month, town, Galilee, land, people's names. Good. That's the first part. Now let's go to the next section. Any more nouns?
Anjana.
Engine. Okay.
Why is it spelled differently?
Oh, yeah. Why? That's the pattern that we'll be looking for. As soon as we identify some of these, we'll start talking about why this engine in this engine is spelled different. We're going to talk about that. That's part comes into the grammar. It's spelled correctly, by the way, both of them. But that's good. Right now, we're just identifying nouns. So we're taking it slow, so that everybody can stay abreast. Any more nouns in this sentence?
Mary.
Yes. This is a noun. I got it. And this is a noun. Young woman and Manny.
Mary.
And there's Manny again.
Joseph.
Joseph is a noun.
Nabar.
Nabawa is a noun. Nabao.
Minwaj Joseph.
Minwaj Joseph. Good job.
David.
David is a noun. There's another one, couple more that we missed. Omoshomo, grandfather or great relative. And this is a noun, means king, right? Chow Chow. King David.
Napo.
All right. Where? Napo.
No.
That's not a. This is not a noun over here. That's not a noun. Okay. Next section.
Manny.
Manny.
Angel. Anjana.
Yes, the Lord. That's the Lord. Otabe Chashu means Lord. Yeah, this means God. think we got them all in that section. Okay, final paragraph.
Mary.
Mary.
Mary,
Mary.
good. Mary.
Anjana.
Yep. I think we got them all. I think we got them. I think we got them all. Okay. Before we start talking about the difference between Anjan and Anjana, we're gonna do some verbs. Okay. So I'm gonna change colors here and shapes, and we're gonna mark some verbs. So I'll mark one, and I'm gonna show you something that when we identify a verb, we're identifying all the parts of it. You see what I put the box around? It's ka ispis kinawai maushot. The ka is part of the verb. The ispis is part of the verb. The kinawai maushot is part of the verb. Verbs are like this. Verbs come with parts attached. And so we're going to be looking for all the rest of the verbs. Usually the first part, this part here, is the tense. That tells you whether it's past, future, that sort of thing. But so let's be looking for verbs. Can anybody name a verb after the one that I picked out?
Jitishawa.
Jitisawa. Good. That's a verb. It's something that somebody does, or something that somebody is.
Kaishi.
Ishinikashuiji.
Kanike Kaish Nakashwichi.
Good. Good. And you see the one right underneath it? Now notice how much those two look alike. Ishinika is the same on both of them. That ishinika means it's named. Something is something is called. Something is named that. Okay.
That's a verb.
Yep.
Show.
Ben.
I'm trying to keep up with you. Hang on. The Zoom window sometimes messes me up because it's taken a long time to respond to the annotation. Okay, back to annotate. Okay, is everybody with me now?
Excuse me, Ben.
Yes. Yes?
Ben na si Mama.
Jagwan.
We bukan haski ba 3:30 na kutag sa kwandiya.
Nee, it's 3:30. Shashishpio, Chagat.
Hey, we bukan ni has just shundan guitan da somewhere else.
That's all right. I'm going to be stopping by 3:30 anyway.
Okay, good. Nushkomitan.
Amen.
Pagan go Cosmo Madeleine ni what I missed out.
Okay, and we're going to put this on a video anyway, so people can come back and watch it later.
Good. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Bye. Sorry. Okay, another verb. Somebody.
Chipanipo.
Chipanipo. Okay, chipanipo. Here's another one that begins with named. Joseph, that was Joseph's name, right? Yep, you're right, You're right, George. Zoom is just taking forever for me to annotate this. Sometimes it's just sluggish. There it is. Okay, we'll get to the end of this sentence and then we'll talk about some of the things I put boxes and circles on. Any more in this sentence before the X? Yeah, good. King David. All right. Let's just look at that much. And we'll talk about what you see in the patterns. Do you see some patterns that repeat a lot?
Yeah, they almost all have 1 or 2 letters to start.
All right. So that single 1 or 2 letters to start, the first bit at the beginning of all the verbs, that's usually a tense marker. The ka is a past tense marker. The chi is also a past tense marker. So both ka and chi, this is what you would expect in a story. They're telling a story about something that happened a long time ago. Those are all past tense markers. For independent verbs, it's a chi, that's the past tense marker. For conjunct verbs, a different form of the conjugation, it's ka. So chi and ka are the most common prefixes that you find on these verbs, and they all mean it's in the past tense. So then, why then is this one not past tense? That is the neutral tense marker. That means it's not past, not future, it's not anything. And that simply means that this person's name is Mary. It also was Mary, but
And it's also going to be Mary.
it's also going to be Mary, right? So it's okay that whenever you see the ah there, the ah is neutral. It doesn't mean past. It doesn't mean future. It just means it's a neutral. So that's what that ah is. Jaji. Jaji is also something you see an awful lot. Jaji is there. Jaji is here. It means, well, like as in English, it's like the word to in front of her, like to walk, to see, to be, to tell. It's that kind of a continuous tense. And this one here, chipa, in front of get married, chipa nipu, that means is something that should be happening, something that's expected. So she was married, chipa nipo. She was expecting to be married. That's what the chipa is for. Chipa is that, it's another tense kind of marker, but it's sort of an aspect. It means something that's being anticipated, something that's going to happen in the future. So you see how all these verbs have something at the very beginning that gives you that sense of timing. That's either happened in the past, something that's going to happen in the future, something that is just the way it is, like Mary's name. And the reason it's separated off by a little bit, and if you measure it, it's slightly narrower than a space. Slightly narrower than a space. It's connected to the verb, but it's slightly narrower than a space. And the reason it is because that it is part of the verb. It controls what the verb is. So the verb, like where God sent the angel, it said, Chamando, Chiitasao, and Angela. The chi is the past tense marker for itasao. God in the past sent. So that goes together. The chi goes with itasao. God sent the angel. They're connected. This verb at the very top has 3 parts. It has the verb itself. It has the ka, the tense marker. Then it has ispis. Can anybody tell me what ispis means?
Ispis.
Ispis.
Is it the length of time?
Yeah. It's the so it was in the past. It's a certain length of time that she was pregnant. She's expecting. Kinawai maushot means pregnant, or she's expecting. She's taking care of a baby. Kinawai maushot. So
Isn't it? Don't we say kashwal motion?
yes, we do. That means she's
Yeah, but
waiting.
this
She's waiting. Yeah. Oh yeah. Sometimes we say aujo. Yeah, aujo. There's a lot of words that mean she's expecting a baby. There's a lot of different ways to say that in Naskapi, and this is one of them. Kinawai maushot. Yeah. But this one is more kind of discreet and respectful.
Mm-hmm.
So kinawai maushot, Elizabetta. Okay, now
It's
go ahead.
the old language.
Yeah, old. You might call this is a certain register of speech. It's like if you're telling a story and it's for everybody, it's going to be in church, then this is the way you would talk about it.
Okay.
Proper way.
Right, the proper way. Yeah, good.
There's no proper way for Naskapi.
Yeah. Well, there are different levels. Like when you'll see as we read further on, there are certain formal ways to say things that the elders decided that this is the way we ought to say it. One of those elders was the late Joseph Guanish, and he helped me to get this written the way it is. And sometimes he didn't tell me why. He just said that sounds better that way. All right. Finally, I want to answer Ben's question about why angel is spelled different. Sometimes it's Enchin, sometimes it's Enchina. In these cases, an animate verb that is in the obviative, that means it's whether it's a subject or the object of the verb. When it's the object of the verb, Ben, then it has an A on the end. So if it's the person who is being sent, for example, God sent the angel is being sent by God, then there's two characters in this story. There's God, and then there's the sending, and then there's the angel. The angel is the one being sent. It gets an A added to the end of it to mark it as the one that's being sent. So that's why it says Chamando Itasawa and the Enjana. The A at the end of angel means that's the one that was sent.
So if it was God who's sending Mary, it'd be Chamdo Ashkenabat, and then you would say
Mania. Yeah, Mania.
But can we say Itashao Nia Angel?
Yes. Yeah.
But it's spelled differently?
Angela. Yeah, Angela.
Angel. Oh, angel.
Angel. It's angel with an A on the end.
Naskapi Anjan
Engine. So you say engine, angel, and then you add an A to the end to say mark that as the obviative. That's the object of the sentence.
one who is being sent on.
The one who is being sent, the one who is being acted on. God is the actor, so it's Chamando. If God was the one being sent, it would be Chamandowa, with a wa on the end. The angel sent God, so you switch them around and do that. All right, we're getting pretty close to 3:30. Your homework is still the same. Here's your homework. Get a computer that can type in Naskapi. Either it's your computer or you borrow somebody else's computer. Install the program so that you can type. Open a Bible and copy that typing, the words directly from the Bible into your computer It's just making a document, Microsoft Word or LibreOffice or something, and type, and then save it, and then tomorrow type some more. Continue on from where you left off, and then save it, and then tomorrow morning type some more. George, I know this is your job. You do this for a living. You type in Naskapi on a computer. But the rest of us who don't do this very often or never have, find a computer, get syllabics installed on it so that you can type, and type in Naskapi a little bit every day. This will help you a lot to learn these, because you will have thought about every letter that you type, every key that you press. Every time you press M-A, it's a ma. Every time you press N-O, it's a no. So each of those sounds is remembered because you're typing it. So type every day. Also, read a little bit every day, even if it's getting just Joe Guanish to read to you on the computer. Go to one of those links in my email. Go to open the Naskapi Bible on the internet and click play and listen to Joe read to you a little bit every day. That's your only homework. Get a computer, type on it, type from the Bible, and do some reading every day, and then come back next week. I think we'll get the most out of this the more we do what we're doing here on the screen, as we read to each other and explain to each other what it means. And we'll do page by page. And by the time we're through all of these books, you will be good readers. Hello, any questions? See you next week.
The next week.
Bye.
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 Bye.